Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Korky and welcome to this episode of our Wonderkid Reborn series. Today we're going to look at another FM 2005 Wonderkid, and that is English defender Stephen Taylor. Stephen Taylor was a very good defender on his day. Unfortunately, just never broke into the England team. He was a top tackling defender. He was not afraid to put his body in the way of any ball coming towards goal. Spent 13 years of his career at Newcastle United. He later joined Portland Timbers in the MLS before coming back to England, where he spent a year with Ipswich, before moving to Peterborough United and then finishing his career in Australia with Wellington Phoenix. A good defender in his day. Unfortunately, Stephen Taylor will probably always be remembered for the famous clip of him handling the ball on the goal line. It's one of those instances where he tries to fool the referee into thinking the ball hit his side, but received a red card as the last defender on the line. Of course, one of the funnier clips he has been involved in was a free kick against Stoke City, where he's constantly dancing in front of Asmir Begovic in a bid to put him off, mimicking every move that Asmir Begovic is making in order to see the ball and instruct his defenders. The mind games must have worked for Stephen Taylor. As we can see, he's getting very close to the goalkeeper at one stage to try and put him off. And as the free kick is taken by Johan Cabaye, it finds the back of the net. Stephen Taylor, of course, spent much of his career with Newcastle United. We're going to input him into FM24 as a 19-year-old game, as he is in 2005, and see if we can develop his career and what success he may have. So we have Stephen Taylor here in the FM 2005 database. As we can see, he was born in London. He was born in 1986. We have adjusted that to be born in 2004 to make him 19 in the game, as he is in 2005. He does have a squad number 27 already. He's broken into the first team in Newcastle very briefly. We can see his contract is, of course, with Newcastle. We have a look at his attributes here. We'll go straight into his reputation. Obviously, he has a reputation currently of 110, home reputation 110 as well. His current ability is currently set at 130, with his potential ability being at -9. Of course, in FM 2005, that makes him in the 190 to 200 range. Of course, in FM 2024, it is a little bit of a wider range. It is 150 to 180 potential ability. We have a look at his positional play. As we can see, he is a defender, a little bit of a sweeper as well. He is capable of doing that. He is a central defender, obviously got 20 as his natural position, and he can also play as a right back as well. We can see he is right-footed, right-sided, and he is mainly a central player. If we have a look at his mental attributes, first of all, we can see he's got very good ambition, of course, rated at 18, very good under pressure, very good professionalism, sportsmanship, and temperament as well, all 16 above. A very low controversy rating of only 3, which means he shouldn't get too many bookings, too many red cards. He should be a model professional, we would expect. We'll have a look at his technical attributes. As we can see, crossing, dribbling, finishing aren't really attributes that we're concerned with. He's very good at heading with a rating of 15. Decent enough at long shots for defender. He's got very good marking, movement, passing, tackling, and vision. His anticipation, decision making, first touch, position is excellent, and technique all very good as well. So he should be a very good player to come in. Certainly, maybe now at the beginning of the game, maybe within the first year or two, to make a first team place his own. We look at his non-technical attributes. As we can see, he's got a rating of 10 for flair, so he's actually pretty fancy for a defender, especially a central defender. His weak foot is, or his left foot is very weak. His right foot is, of course, very strong. He's naturally right footed. His teamwork and his work rate are excellent as well, both at 15. And as you can see, a lot of stats here aren't double figures. His injury prone is down at 3. His dirtiness is number 3 as well. So we're expecting a good, as we mentioned, a model professional, a model citizen type of player when he develops into his prime. A quick look at his preferred moves, and of course he doesn't have any here apart from tries to play his way out of trouble. Very much a modern central defender trait. And if we look at his history, he has been in Newcastle for 3 years. He did go on loan to Wickham, played 6 games there. We haven't put that into the game. We've just put him in at Newcastle only. And his preferences, he does have a favourite club, is of course Newcastle, and no other configurations at that. So we're going to jump into FM24 and see how he looks. And here we have Stephen Taylor in the game. Now I haven't changed all these panels. They all currently say his career stats. That's fine. We don't really care about that. We're looking at his attributes straight away. And as we can see, a lot of them are in the green. A lot of them are very, very good already. As mentioned, he is 19 in the game, as he is in FM 2005. He is at Newcastle. He has been there 3 years, as we'll see. Hasn't made a senior team game yet. As we see here, he is a central defender. He is competent at playing at right back as well. He has a value already of £10.5 to £32 million. So we're going to fast forward 5 years into the future and see how his career takes off. And so 5 years into the future, and we can see that Stephen Taylor is still with Newcastle. He's made that number 5 shirt his own. He has become a first team player. As we can see, all his attributes are still excellent, so they are. As we can see here, he has developed a new trait. He avoids using his weaker foot. He does, of course, have the trait already of tries to play his way out of trouble. He's been at Newcastle for 5 years already. He's made 132 appearances in the senior team. We'll have a quick look at his history here. And as we can see, he has very much become a regular. He played 28 games. He played 39 in total. He played 34 in the league, 48 in total. Played 37 in the league, missing all but one league game, playing 42 games in all competitions. And in the most recent season, in the previous season, he's played 49 games, making 30 appearances in the Premier League. And last season, in the most recent season just passed, he has played only 6 games, 4 as a substitute, and 4 starts and 2 as a substitute. We'll have a quick look at his medical report, and we'll see he has had quite a number of injuries. He's had ankle ligaments. He's had a tight thigh, cost him a couple of days, not too much. He's a torn abdominal muscle, kept him out for 2 months, which would explain quite a lengthy spell on the sidelines. If we have a look at his milestones, and we can see in terms of competitions, he has won his first international cap already with the England squad. So he has been capped with the national team. We'll have a quick look at all here, and as we can see, we'll go with the notable. We see he's been named in the best 11 for 4 seasons in a row now as well, after making his senior debut against Leeds in 2023. So just at the end of September of the first season, he made his first senior game. So he is now 24 years of age. Of course, he is about to come into his peak, into his prime. We're going to fast forward another 5 years into the future. We'll see what success he's had. Is he still at Newcastle, and how he's developed. And so here we are 5 years into the future yet again. As we can see, Stephen Taylor very much still at Newcastle. He is very much a key player in this team. He's made 217 appearances for the club already in the last year. That's little under 100 extra appearances. He has scored his first senior goals for the club as well. Looking at his attributes are all still very, very good. He has become an accomplished right back now. He is also able to play a bit of a makeshift role at right wing back as well. Attributes are all very good. His value now at 39 to 117 million. His reputation has increased. He's now 2.5 star as well. We're going to have a look at his career history. As we can see, still with Newcastle. We left him in the beginning of 28-29. He played 32 games, 19 in the league that season. He played 24 games and 4 substitute appearances the following year, 20 of those coming in the Premier League. In the following season then, he made 13 starts in the Premier League, played a total of 28 games in all competitions. The following year, he played only 15 games in all competitions, 8 of those as starts, 7 as substitute. And in the most recent season, he has played a grand total of 41 games, 23 of those coming in the league. So he's definitely had a bit of an up and down career so far. We'll go look at his medical reports. We can see it damaged Achilles tendon. He's been out for 4 months, a few weeks, a few days. He's done an ACL in 2029. It's ruled him out for 6 months, which would explain why he only played those handful of games. And the torn abdominal muscle that we spoke of previously as well. So he has had a number of little injuries and a number of little knocks, as we can see. He has actually lost one of his traits where he avoids using his weaker foot. He has now developed his left foot a little bit. It is reasonable now. It was previously weak, so he no longer tries to avoid using his left foot. We'll have a look at his milestones. As we can see, in terms of competitions, he has been successful now with this Newcastle team. In the 2031 season, they did win the FA Cup. They also came runner-up in the Europa Conference League as well, and also won the FA Community Shield in what would be the 2031-32 season, so it would be after they won the FA Cup. The following year, they progressed a little bit better in Europe. They went from Europa Conference League runner-up to Europa League runner-up. So unfortunately, not any success in terms of winning trophies, but he has come away with 2 silver medals in 2 of the European competitions there. They did win another FA Cup in 2033 in just the most recent season past. We'll have a little look and see if that was against Wolves in the final. And as we can see, this guy whose name I'm not going to try and pronounce and embarrass myself, did score the 2 winning goals there. As we can see, Steven Taylor is not in the starting lineup in this game. It is possible that he may have been injured for that, unfortunately, but he is having some success with Newcastle, picking up a couple of trophies already. So he is now 29 years of age, very much in his peak now as a central defender. So we're going to fast forward another few years to see if he can remain injury free and see if he can gain any more success in the future. And so 5 years into the future, we are still with Newcastle with Steven Taylor. He is 34 years of age now. He is wanted, as we can see here, by Leicester, but he has stayed loyal to Newcastle throughout all of his career so far. As we can see, his attributes are still very, very good. Still, a lot of the ratings are in green. He has developed a new trait where he marks his opponents tightly. As we can see, he's played 374 games for Newcastle. He is valued at between 6 million and 18 million currently. His current contract is due to expire next year. He has 1 year remaining on his deal. We'll have a look at his history, and we can see, as we mentioned, he is still with Newcastle. In the seasons that have followed in the last 5 seasons, we can see he has become a regular player again. He played 35 games in total in the 33-34 season, making 1 substitute appearance. He played a grand total of 54 games, no substitute appearances, started all those games. The following year, 35-36, he repeated that. He played 54 games, all of them starts. The following season, he made 47 appearances, 45 of those starting and 2 from the substitutes bench. And in the most recent season, the past, he's played a grand total of 42 games, 33 of those in the league, making no substitute appearances, very much back to being a first team regular. We can see in his career so far, he has scored a total of 4 goals. He has laid on 17 assists as well. I would suspect most of those assists probably coming from time spent as a right back. So as we can see then from his career milestones, we left them off. They had won the FA Cup and were runners up in the Europa League. They've gone on then in the 33-34 season to win the Carabao Cup. In the season that followed, they've been pretty successful, picking up a few trophies. They won the Carabao Cup again, so they've retained that 2 years in a row. Newcastle became the Premier League champions in the 2035 season. So he has now won all the domestic trophies. They also went 1 further in Europe and won the Europa League. Previously, it had only been a runner-up a couple of seasons prior. In the FA Cup, they did get to the final, so Newcastle almost completed a domestic treble that season. But they finished runner-up in the 2035 season. And in Europe, they also competed, after winning the Europa League, they also competed in the European Super Cup, where they fortunately finished runner-up in that as well. So it has been a pretty good career so far for Steven Taylor. He is 34 years of age. Of course, he is starting to decline a little bit. A lot of his attributes, especially his physical and his mental attributes, are still very, very good. We're going to fast forward a little bit into the future, and we're going to see if Steven Taylor is still at Newcastle come the end of his contract, where he's moved on to, and what success he may have had. And so it is at this stage that we start to simulate a player's career 1 year at a time. As we can see, Steven Taylor is set to retire now at the end of the current season. He'll be retiring in mid-July. He does have a contract running now until the end of June. Why he's retiring 2 weeks after his contract ends instead of at the time of his contract ending, I don't quite understand, but that's not for me to judge. But as we can see from his attributes, he is still a very good player. The only real decline is his agility and his strength, and a little bit of a stamina as well. Obviously, the other attributes have decreased some as well, but it is his strength, his stamina, and his agility that are really, I think, really forcing him into that decision to retire. As we can see, obviously his value is not very much now because he is due to retire and his contract is due to expire as well. And we'll have a look at his history. As we can see, he's only ever been at Newcastle. Very loyal to the club, very commendable as well. We left him off. He had played 38 games in the previous season. In the most recent season just finished, he did play a grand total of 30 games in all competitions. He played 19 of those in the league, starting 19 games and making 11 substitute appearances in the other competitions as well. He has scored a few goals. He scored one more goal during his career. He has a couple more assists again. He's played a grand total of 428 games for the club. If we have a look at his milestones, and as we can see, in the season following the success they haven't won anything until the 2040 season, where they finished runner-up yet again in the Europa League in 2040. And we'll have a quick check on that, and we can see that they lost to Stade Rennais on penalties. As we can see, if we have a little look here, we can see that Arzala and Berat are the players who missed penalties. I don't think Taylor featured in this game. Doesn't look like he did. They do have Warren Zaire Emery in the team, but unfortunately lost the Europa League final on penalties to Stade Rennes. So again, a little bit of disappointment for Stephen Taylor himself, not to pick up another winner's medal from there. But it has been a very good career for Stephen Taylor. Of course, we will be back with more episodes of this Wonderkid Reborn series. If you would like us to recreate a Wonderkid from 2005 that you remember, or possibly 2004, 2006, or one of the older Football Manager games, please let us know. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. We'll be delighted to run a player through our simulation process and see what success they have. That is it for this episode. I do hope you've enjoyed it. We will see you in the next one. Until then, thank you and take care. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback as well. You can check out one of these recommended videos. We will see you in the next one. Thank you and take care.